Now we go right into our presentations, and as an example of one of PK Portland's favorite presentations, we'd like to share with you a special tribute to Dave Poole, who stood up here and entertained us in the spring of 2009. Half a year later, Dave died unexpectedly while vacationing with family in southern China. And many of you remember Dave and his memorable presentation. Some of you may recall that we did do a tribute to him after his passing at our February 2010 PK. Our committee felt that even years later, we still feel that Dave's presentation embodies a spirit that is PK and makes us all smile and be inspired. So Dave happened to record his own presentation back in 2009 as an example for us to use as a promotional material for PK Portland. So we are very, very fortunate beyond words that we're able to hear Dave's voice again, along with his brilliant visual presentation. So all right, everyone, now get ready to pee in your pants. Here's Dave.
Hi, my name is Dave Poole. This is my Pechakucha night presentation for Portland, Maine, 20 images in 20 seconds each. I'll just say that I filled out a form at City Hall asking for a $7 billion bailout loan, and they only gave me $6 billion, but here are some of the personal projects I did with that money. This is the hydrant building. I designed this to be housing for retired government employees, postal workers, public service, public works people, any retired government employee. My original design was a large urinal, but the city wouldn't approve that, so we ended up with the hydrant building. This is Burger Heights. It's in Payson Park. It's low-income housing, so you can get a 2-bedroom in the Soda Cup building with a balcony for, I think, about $650 a month. Most kids, I've found, prefer to live in the Burger building, I think just because it's more fun. But that was a pretty successful project. This is the Ghetto Blaster building. I designed this as a college dormitory. If you think about it, if you're 20 years old and in college and your main concern is to just drink as much beer as you can, this is like the perfect place to have a kegger and enjoy your college experience. This next one is the Running Man building. Now this was really an experiment in sort of gesture and motion with architecture. It cost about $240 million to build. No one wanted to rent space in it when it was done, so it was torn down after 6 months. But, it's government money, so hey, that's really not a problem. This is the DeCherico house. I built this for a little old lady on the Western Promenade. DeCherico was an artist who did a lot of paintings of torsos with pillars in them and stuff like that, so that's why it's sort of designed after his work. She was a little miffed that it was so hard to get into that little room at the top, to which I could only answer tough noogies. Fort Gorgeous. This is an example of brutalism where you sort of combine two totally incongruent styles of architecture. So I thought, how perfectly stupid and male would it be to put a big gun up there for her head? I guess we should talk about the phallic implications of that. Oh, phew. Okay, this is Calder City, which is a retirement community I built for Mackworth Island. The residents were a little bit upset in that there was no way to get into the building, so I had to provide like 30 jetpacks as a solution. But try teaching an 85-year-old lady to use a jetpack, and maybe that was a design flaw. This probably shouldn't be in there. This is actually an image from the planet Pluto, where I did a couple of housing projects. I never got paid, well, at least not in money, but then again, I was using government money, so I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And I also build robots. This was my first robot named Robbie, and he was a real problem in that he liked to go play with cars over at Martin's Point. I actually did print up this alert and laminate it and nail it to a phone pole in my neighborhood, but Robbie basically just sort of ran off the first week that I built him. This is Kevin, and he was designed to stomp on cars, which is kind of dumb, I guess. The first time I took him downtown, I took this photo, and basically I was just yelling, "No, Kevin, no, don't do it." So that really was, I think, a design flaw in making him. This guy The problem with this robot is that his main power supply is basically a electric pencil sharpener motor, and that's just really not enough to power a 40-foot tall robot. So I do think that was a design flaw with this robot. And this next one, it's more of a brain issue. You know, he's actually asking that hydrant, "Where'd you get the balloon?" And you know, that's obviously not a balloon. And I think the problem here was that I used these $5 calculators from Staples as the brains for my robots, and that's probably not good enough. So that's a design flaw. This is Timmy, and he's a robot who's actually in the Portland school system. I dropped him off one day to get a tune-up, and the barber started messing with his neck bolts, and he kind of freaked out, and he lasered off the barber's left arm. So there's some behavioral issues there, but I think it's going to work out okay. He'll be fine in the school system anyway. This is Petey. Now, I couldn't really afford to take care of all these robots that I was making, so I told Petey he had to get a job, and it seemed like the most normal thing was to have him work for the post office. He hates it. He just wants to eat junk food and watch TV, so he's kind of grumpy just like all the time. And there's Robbie again, actually. He showed up again one night, just sort of out of the fog, and was messing around over at Martin's Point. And you know, he's still out there just romping around, and basically, he's up to no good. I do think that was an experiment gone badly. I also wanted a sort of a companion robot, and this is Jorge, and I just wanted someone who was a little bit fatter and dumber than me, and I think that worked out fine. All he does is listen to country western music and watch Oprah. No help around the house, won't do yard work or help clean up, so not like the best friend you could have. Okay, and we also have alien sightings, you know, not just spaceships, but actual aliens in my neighborhood. And this alien, one morning I caught him just standing there checking out my saxophone, and I did the natural thing, which is to get a broom and just whack him in the back of the head until he ran out of the house. So I took care of that, I think, pretty efficiently. This is another alien who lives in my garage, and I just think he has some behavioral or personality issues in that he just seems to be afraid of everything. He needs to grow a spine or something. Right there, I think he's just totally freaked out by the purple glass vase. I don't know what that's about. This alien I actually invited to dinner, and I think it was a nice idea, but I think the problem is in that peanut butter and cocoa cereal, because neither of us really like that stuff at all. It's all I had around the house, and he's never come back for dinner again, so I think that was really just the menu choice. And this is the last slide, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just say in 4 words, cats don't like aliens.
I just can't get tired of his presentation. So we love you, Dave. We miss you.